morning, I'm Gordon Hill. I've been in the data industry for 20 plus years, worked at NBL, Claritas, Axiom, Royal Mail, joined Epsilon 2 years ago, worked on both online and offline. I'm pleased to present this case study working with Stephen Newman, Suttons Seeds, looking at the sort of the digital part, the bit that Lara's talked about, where we're bringing together the Epsilon resource to really help our clients. One of the key things we came out of the case study is we had a challenge and we helped Suttons to increase their click rate through to their best call to action, 76%. There's other parts in the case study that you'll see that's available, which is very good. What I'm going to talk about is really in terms of about what is Strategy and Insights, this new team that you can embrace via Abacus, working with us, who they are, what we do, why use us. Steve will talk about Suttons and why they engage with Abacus and look at that sort of digital 360. We already work with Suttons on the Abacus 360. It's linking everything together. And then Steph will talk through the sort of 3 key areas that we looked at in terms of the case study and explain that. We've only got 20 minutes, so we will rattle through. Lots of information in the slides, all been recorded, but we're available to run you through anything you don't really understand. So in terms of the introduction to Strategy and Insights, really is like every single business. We want to improve your return on investment, really understand your customers and the channels that you're working. A bit of that sort of that lovely graphic that Lara had, bringing everything together. We're looking at various different sort of metrics, tactics, planning, etc. But really looking at your customer, putting it at the heart of everything you do. How we work with you to move from that tactical to the strategic planning, linking everything together. It is that glue and everything that works. There's lots of testing, lots of planning, working with you in a partnership to make sure everything is all working. A bit about the team that the Steph works in. I mean, it's a big team. It's a global team. We have 14 people within EMEA that complements the 11 people that work in analytical and strat services within Abacus. So that's a big team of experts with a huge amount of knowledge that can work with you to develop your needs. We've got a North American team. I know a number of you have got businesses in the US, so we can link that together. It's hands across the ocean, and we've got many different clients. I actually worked on the Della client when I was working with Epsilon, but there's lots of big clients. We've got a lot of insight we can bring together, looking at all of these particular areas. And we have this as best practice. We've got a huge amount of information that's available on our website, the Epsilon blog, that you can tap into or speak with your Abacus account manager or Epsilon account managers to get this information. So we have best practice. And these are all things we applied when we were working with Suttons in terms of the case study is utilising what we know, what works well, and then linking that to their business and understanding that from their business. And in short, this is the less fancy graphic that Lara sort of talked about, but this is the glue. We are as a team that glues everything together, working with you to understand all your different data points. It is multi-channel. There's a huge amount of information out there that we're helping clients to understand. So I'll just quickly hand over to Steve to talk about Suttons and what we did.
Hello, everyone. So Suttons Seeds, our sort of name gives it away a little bit. It's also very good for search engine optimization, which is great. We're not just about seeds. We are about all forms of gardening, no matter what your experience or expertise is, whatever your space is. We have the plants, whether it's little plug plants to potted plants to shrubs and trees, whatever you want to grow, essentially we provide that. We're quite an old company. We've been around 209 years. We've also got the Royal Warrant, which is a key part of our business. We see our quality and our service as a key component of that. We don't always get it right, no one ever does, but we try and put that right. A lot of what we are looking at is those third-party reviews, getting customers to actually come back to us, so things like Trustpilot, Review Centre, which actually give us back some good quality feedback. Our customers are quite broad, but they're quite loyal. You know, that we've had customers that have been with us for 70 years. They bought from us year in, year out. Our audience is sort of from 55 to death. You know, so it's quite an old demographic. We're trying to build that up to be a bit younger as well. You know, as part of our what we're trying to achieve is grow our audience and grow our expertise in these areas. You know, we've got quite a lot to do on an e-commerce point of view. We've got quite a small team. We can't do everything. you know, we can't always stop, look, listen into what other people are doing in our industry, let alone anyone else. So, you know, what's very key is working with companies such like Epsilon and Abacus to help achieve that.
Hi everyone, I'm going to walk through the actual consultancy case study and give you a flavour of what we did with Suttons Seeds. So we really leveraged our strategic framework approach, and step one really took a fact find. So we do this with all our other clients. We have a fact find questionnaire, quite a comprehensive, maybe a bit laborious, but very well worth doing. And we were able to get under the skin of Suttons Seeds, really gather, you know, their key objectives, pain points, and their commercial sort of direction for the year. And we also, as a team, were able to work with the Abacus team to understand currently, you know, what they were doing with Abacus and understand the campaigns and the planning and the historical kind of relationship. So from the fact find, we took those results and were able to then understand, okay, what are the strategic development opportunities that we could actually leverage and work with Suttons Seeds on. So what we found was there was a need to bring the customer together across the channels, understand the customer and how they interact across channels, opportunity to sell expanded services and products, their email program, opportunities to optimize, leverage best practice, what can we do, what can we test and refine, and cross and upsell opportunities to customers that show that they have the ability to grow share of wallet with Suttons. Step two, so was defining the strategy. So we had the results. So what kind of projects could we work with Suttons that were going to be relevant and drive return on investment and drive success, really? So we were able to scope out and fulfill strategic projects, which I will run through now. So the first project was a competitor review. What's a competitor review? Well, basically, it's a very easy to start project. Actually, all of you today could actually go ahead and suggest that you want to go off with one. We work with a lot of our clients on competitor reviews because it's a simple, easy opener. It's an initial project. We don't need any data. We don't need anything from you. Maybe just a bit of a conversation and understanding from the team, you know, your pain points. But really, it assesses yourself against your competitors, and we access public domain information, so it's not sensitive information. It's all, you know, available, what the customer actually sees. So we take an external point of view and we look at what the customer is actually seeing online, through your emails, through your web. Project two was our communications program audit. So what this did was provided an audit and an evaluation across the catalogue of Suttons and their emails, and really then we're able to then identify opportunities and ways to improve the program and optimization, again leveraging best practice and the best practice that we have through our sort of knowledge bank as at Epsilon. And finally was a multi-channel data audit. So actually we have the data both from offline and online and telephone, email, etc. We're able to marry all of those data sets together to just understand trends of the customers. So what channels were the customers interacting across, what were the opportunities, and how can we grow and upsell those customers. So ultimately, each project was able to deliver insights and direction for us to drive value and implement quick wins. So I'll give you a flavour of each project as a snapshot. So first of all, the competitor review. This is just an example. So it was a very thorough review, maybe even could have been 150 slides, I think. So it really depends on how you want to kind of, you know, what areas you want to focus against. We can go quite comprehensive, or we can focus on, you know, specific areas. This was an example of the newsletter sign up. So email newsletter on your website. We looked at Suttons and we compared and benchmarked them against their competitors. So for example, how easy was it to sign up to your newsletter online versus competitors? How many opportunities could you sign up with? What was the welcome email like from registration, and how long that took to turn around, and what did that look like? And really, you know, how many opportunities were there to order a catalogue? So this is just a flavour for you. When we started, obviously new to gardening, because we work with many different clients, but I think this was the first time we were working with gardening, and this set the scene for us. We looked at competitors of Suttons and Suttons themselves, and looked at this and thought, wow, there's an awful lot that the e-commerce team have to get through in gardening as a sector. Sheer volume of products, and actually it's a challenge. What do you bring to the forefront, and what do you sort of say needs to become, something that you navigate to in additional web pages? And I think this just gave us a flavour of how do you actually stand out amongst the crowd? Because, it does look very similar and you can't really tell one from the other. So in terms of the newsletter sign-up, and this is just a flavour, each section that we analysed, we would provide, the strengths, the weaknesses, the likes, what we thought were working really well against the competitors and themselves, quick wins. So what can we go to market and actually test as of tomorrow, and what can we kind of refine from that? And then longer term wins and medium wins. So looking at the communications project, we did an audit of email and catalogue. And first of all, we looked at catalogue, and we wanted to understand, okay, how does catalogue sort of sit in terms of the other channels, and what opportunities can we kind of drive from there? So we looked at the order form. And we provided observations and key recommendations. I won't go into the details of that, but that's what we looked at. Page navigation, how does the consumer see those pages, and are they able to navigate quite clearly? Are they seeing what they need to see? Centerfold features, leaflet inserts. So, we went through the catalogue to sort of understand what the consumer's seeing, and we also looked at the competitors' catalogues as well. So we also looked at email and looked at an array of different types of email from Suttons. We started off with the inbox view. How does the emails view on an inbox for a subscriber, and how do they see, Suttons Seeds emails against competitors too? Sender name, subject line, email anatomy. So what we do is a regular email audit sort of process is we take the email creative and we analyse it from header to footer. That's what we mean by anatomy. So, above the fold, what are you seeing? Below the fold, what's your hero image, your hero banner image? We also then sort of integrate the best practice. So, what do statistics tell us in terms of how, what drives subject line openers? Open rate driven by subject line, what drives engagement? It's really going to be the content of your email and how easy it is to navigate through that email. So we took a list of different types of emails, from newsletter to themed emails, and we're able to then sort of provide key observations and recommendations against those different email types. And from this, we were able to then deliver, quick wins that we could go to test straight away, and then longer term opportunities. At the end of the communications audit, we were able then to show Suttons Seeds, okay, from today and then into the future, here are opportunities for you to sort of test and work towards in order to drive an optimized program across your catalogue, across email, across your targeting. And then also go to market quick wins. What are those quick wins across email, catalogue, and how can we sort of test those through? Just to give you a flavour of the multi-channel data audit, what we wanted to see here is how are the customers interacting across channels. So for Suttons, they can interact across online, catalogue and telephone, and we wanted to understand how many customers and what types of customers are interacting across, catalogue, online only, and which customers are actually interacting across all three channels. Because if you see, the multi-channel customer is that white section in the middle, and a very profitable customer if they're choosing to interact with you across three channels to purchase as well. So ideally, if we could get customers to interact across more than one channel, that would be more profitable for us in the longer term. So we were able to understand, the revenue that was being driven by the different channels and across channel, single, multi-purchaser behaviour, and really what were the key trends? Could we pull out behaviours that we could then, derive upsell and cross-sell opportunities across channel? So step 4 was really taking this insight, what can we do with this insight, and then push through into testing, really evaluate the return on investment, and then refine those testing tactics. So from the communications audit, I just want to give you sort of an overview of one of the testing opportunities that we tested out. So from the email communications audit, we found that some of the emails were quite lengthy in the email creative. There was a lot of content. It was quite hard to navigate through. Now, best practice showed us that actually less content and having just the right sort of call to action buttons, hitting the right web pages would actually drive more engagement longer and drive more visits to those web pages. So we tested short versus long email. And here's just an example of the different creatives. We tested 3 rounds, and really these are the heat maps. So in order to understand the performance of this test, we didn't just look at engagement, click rate was our key metric, but we actually looked at and analysed the heat maps themselves. So where were the subscribers clicking? So here's some more examples here. And what were the results? Well, our hypothesis that the shorter email would drive more engagement was correct. And actually, the shorter email had much more ease of navigation. More subscribers were clicking through. Actually, overall, we had a higher click rate engagement from the short email versus the long email. As you can see, some key stats here. And quite interestingly, more subscribers were clicking on the view full range. So it just goes to show, you don't actually have to front load your emails with so much content. If you've got enough of the right sort of CTAs driving you to the web pages, you can then, display the array of products and offers that you have on your website. Again, we had an increase on those ordering a catalogue and an increase to the main navigation bar, which is reflected on the website. And finally, future planning. That's really where we are today. So actually, strategically, how can we kind of move forward, test further and refine based on the insight and the evidence that we've already delivered? And really, it's an ongoing update. We work as a holistic team. So, it's a holistic approach. As a team, we're available to all of you today, Strategy and Insight. So you can speak to your account managers, account directors, any of us. We're here today to talk to. And really, with Suttons, we're supporting them on an ongoing basis. Digital projects we're able to pick up, and really relevant and bespoke projects, we can pick those up too. So the ultimate goal is really driving value and really leveraging a digital 360 approach. So that's basically the case study in short. If you want to know more, please contact myself. Today I'm around. Also the account team, Gordon, and we'll be happy to talk to you more.